Bluff City Media presents the Two Buck Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to your Tuesday edition of the Two Buck Sports Show. I am your co-host, Rusty Buckets. Jared and Wayno are already here in the comments. If you are, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, hit that like to move us up in the algorithm for today. And I've got my guy, Uncle Buck, a.k.a. Drew Gann, here with me today live on this Tuesday. Drew, how's your day going so far, sir?
So far, so good. I had a high school student want to shadow me today, only to find out that I don't think you really knew what I did. So I don't know that I steered anybody towards the engineering profession this morning.
I'm sure he came in thinking he was shadowing a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger after all the Two Buck Sports shows he has watched. And so I guess he was a little bit disappointed we didn't see you more.
He said, I kind of want to be a lineman. I said, well, hey, man, that's great. But this whole conversation that we've had for the last 20 minutes about college, just go to work, brother.
Yeah.
Like, just go to work. You just get on, pass go and collect your $20,000 you won't spend and just go be a lineman.
That's it. Don't go into all that college debt for no reason. That's for sure. Well, your boy has been on a generational type run of bad luck recently. If you know, you know. My life's chaos, trying to get it all sorted out. And then this morning, I wake up, my nose is all like just a solid brick, like trying to breathe through a concrete slab. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Kroger. I'm going to get my Flonase because I'm out. I cranked my truck and it was slow to turn over. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I'll get my battery tested later today. No problem. So I go to Kroger, get my Flonase, walk out, do the thing, can breathe all of a sudden, only for my truck to not crank in the Kroger parking lot. So, I'm surrounded by hybrids and little old white women who don't have jumper cables. And naturally, because I got a new truck a year ago.
What time is this in the day?
Oh, this is, 8:30 in the morning. Like, it's early. Yeah.
Yeah. There are only two types of people at the Kroger in the mid-morning hours, and that are women who stay at home or unemployeds. And
I'll go for two. So,
none of which are going to have a vehicle that can jump off a Hemi.
So I call an Uber. He shows up in a hybrid, and I'm like, oh, my God. Like, you're not going to be able to jump me off. So I'm like, all right, do you mind taking me to AutoZone? Let me get a new battery. So I go inside the Kroger while I wait on the Uber, and I get a ratchet set. Because, again, like I said earlier, my ratchet set and my jumper cables are in the garage because I got a new truck a year ago. I hadn't put it back in there yet. So I get the ratchet set from Kroger only for it to be 3 inches too short. I'm sure a lot of people that have experience with that.
Story of my life.
Can't get the ratchet to work. So I tell the Uber driver, I'm like, look, man, like, I don't know what to do here. He's like, I tell you what, you were going to be my last ride anyway. I'll cut the meter off. We'll work out a deal and I'll help you out. And I was like, cool. So he drives me. The Uber ride to AutoZone happens. He cuts his meter off. I get thankfully the guy had the tool I needed. I go back and get my battery out. He takes me back to AutoZone. I get the new battery. He brings me back to Kroger, put it in, truck fires right up. $40 in Uber fees and $260 some odd dollars later for a new battery. And I'm rolling again, but we had a day all before 9:15 this morning.
Yeah. Listen, for anybody out there that, thinks that they should go get their battery tested at AutoZone, just don't.
Yeah.
This is just a heads up for you and for everybody else. I'm pretty sure that anytime you go to one of those chain auto parts places and then they test your battery, I only think the batteries that test good are brand new because their testing requirements are way too soft. And they are like, yeah, no, you need a new battery every single time you get in there. Like, I don't trust any of them. And the fact, I was going to tell you, like, oh, don't trust them, but then you told me your battery died before you even made it for them to test. So, I mean, you would have probably needed a battery.
So I got a good friend of the show, Ryan Gordon. I play softball with him. I was going to play softball with him tonight. I was going to have him bring his tester. We were going to test it in the parking lot tonight after the softball game, but didn't even make it that far because I made it to Kroger on Mendenhall and Sanderlin, not even 5 minutes from my house. And my truck has shown no signs of any issues. It's been running like a top. And then this morning, it was just like, and then it cranked, and I was like, oh, that's a weird slow turnover. So I text Ryan's like, hey, man, we're going to need to check my battery tonight if you don't mind. He was like, sure, no problem. I get to Kroger. I texted him back, and I was like, hey, man, Never mind. But all that's behind us. We have got a jam-packed show full of football content today. But it is Tuesday, and we introduced a new segment last week where we talk about the best things that we've eaten in the past week. I don't know about you, Drew, but this feels like the perfect segment for somebody to sponsor. If you know of somebody that has a restaurant that is looking to get more advertisements, send them our way. We'd love to talk with them about sponsoring our Tasting Tuesday segment that we're going to dive into right now.
I tell you what, that's a dangerous picture to put up at 11 o'clock when I've been trying to not eat breakfast and do the fasting. You throw up a juicy, some kind of, looks like pepper jelly burger. I don't know what that was, but I'd eat it with a spoon.
Absolutely. And Wayno, if we could get a battery sponsor as well, that'd be awesome. But
excuse me, Duracell, my battery died.
Yeah.
What happened to the bunny?
On this Tuesday, we are going to talk about the best things we've eaten in the past week. And this feels like a good way to kind of come off our best of beef on Monday, kind of get everybody ready to talk sports here in a little bit. But Drew, I had an experience this past week that as a high calorie individual, a chubby man, I think I'm an expert on candy and desserts. And towards the end of last week, I was like, you know what? I was getting some gas. I was at the gas station. I went inside to get a body armor, and I was like, you know what? I deserve this. I'm going to get me a sweet treat because up by the register, they had the new collab Reese's Peanut Butter Cup on the bottom with the chunks of Oreo in it and the Oreo cream on top.
Stupid.
Have you had it?
Nope.
Okay. That was the best candy bar candy like collab that I've had in a very long time. Listen, I get it. The original Reese's is the GOAT. It's you don't need to church it up. It doesn't need fixing. But what goes better with peanut butter and chocolate than Oreo chocolate and Oreo cream? And it's the perfect combination. You get the Reese's peanut butter in the bottom with chunks of Oreo in the middle. You get the Reese's chocolate on the outside and the bottom, the Oreo cream on top. 10 out of 10, and I cannot recommend it enough. You've got to try it. I know they're two great things, and oftentimes, as Jared learned, when you combine an oatmeal cream pie and Nutty Buddy bar, not so great. This time, they got a winner.
I would just ask you to rank these foods, okay? Option 1, a Reese's cup, standard. Option 2, Oreos. Option 3, the monstrosity that you just said you ate. Rank them.
Well, I mean, the obvious order is going to be
okay. Then you don't need it, and you don't need.
I don't know why I try to have these nice segments with this most curmudgeon hater of all haters.
It's not a hater. I'm a lover. I'm
sitting telling you how wonderful this thing is. Y'all got to check it out. It is so good. And my hater co-host over here is just
I'm just saying. You just said it's a 10 out of 10, but it's not as good. The sum is not better than the parts.
I don't know. I would rank it at least on par with Oreos because it's the perfect. It's chocolate peanut butter. Like we talked about ice cream on Friday and how great chocolate peanut butter ice cream is, and that's exactly what this is. It's chocolate peanut butter and more chocolate with a little bit of Oreo cream. I'm not. Again, I got King Hater on the screen here with me,
so,
and I'm convincing the thing. Y'all go try it. Let me know what you think.
On the theme of things that are unnecessary. I went to my mother's house last night for a stupid gender reveal party in which the cake that I ate had pink icing in it. And we made a huge to-do about it.
Now that's silly.
I just don't understand it. Like, I even boycotted the cake. I was like, I don't even want this cake. I like the grapes. Lots of grapes. Whoever got the grapes did a good job. They were
talking about Oreo. Plump. You talk about this being overrated. Or Jared's talking about Oreos being overrated. Gender reveal parties are massively overrated. It's just it's silly.
Listen, and I'm a weak man, I guess, because I told my wife, I was like, Braxton has baseball practice. I'm gonna skip this, and she guilted me into going. And baseball practice was canceled anyways. But she was like, "This is possibly your last niece or nephew. Your sister says she's not having any more kids. This kid was an accident 9 years after their previous kid, and we're not having any more. So, like, what?" I was like, "But why do I have to have like a cheer for a team here? I told my wife on our last kid, we had 2 of each. We're having another kid. Her sister wanted to throw us a stupid gender reveal party. And I was like, okay, we'll do it. It's for them, not for us. I get it. They want to do this. By all means, we'll come eat their food that they cater. But don't expect me to be excited. Like you just said, I've got 2 of each. Now this will be the 10th grandkid on my side of the family. Like, I'm not going to have a very big opinion one way or the other. I'm going to be like, cool.
Wayno, the best part of this comment is this sister has her own ultrasound business where that's what she does. And so that's the best part of this story.
She knew the flavor of the baby going into it. She was just revealing to us. You know, a meeting that could have been an email? This was a 45-minute drive to my mama's house to eat leftovers that could have been a text message.
A text message. Absolutely right. Hey, we're having a girl. Thanks. Good talk. I mean,
Sweet.
Have a good night.
I've always lobbied my wife to not even find out. Like, let's have the grand reveal the way the Lord intended. Looking for a private part as soon as the baby comes out. That's what I want to do.
An innie or an outie when the baby comes out, and then you're done.
Yeah. We dangling or not? Okay, good.
Anyway, yeah, exactly. So that's our tasting Tuesday tasting for the week. Let us know what y'all are eating. Jared's talking about some smash burgers, something in the crock pot.
He sent us some pictures of those smash burger tacos he made.
Fire. They looked incredible, bro. And then tonight is crock pot burrito bowls. That sounds super good.
Oh, man, how far is it to Martin, Tennessee?
I mean, yeah, like I could head that way this afternoon.
That's what happens when you don't have kids. You get to cook a nice fancy meal for your girlfriend every night or several nights a week, and Jared and his wife get to hang out and cook in the kitchen and get creative, and I'm over here just like slinging diapers and being like, somebody just put some dang ramen noodles in the microwave. Feed the baby. Make mac and cheese. Don't care. He's screaming.
Right now on FanDuel.com, before we get into our football talk, they have a 30% home run profit boost. So if are you feeling spicy or feeling saucy about baseball today, feel like you want to make a few extra dollars, you can get a 30% profit boost right now. Go pick a player. It could be Cal Raleigh, Shohei Ohtani. It could be Kyle Schwarber, guys who are on an absolute heater right now to hit home runs. 30% profit boost right now on FanDuel.com. Where you can get your money back. There's tons of other rewards. There's a $2 million jackpot on Thursday Night Football. Check it out at FanDuel.com, and we'll see you on the other side of the commercial break for some college football talk.
In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
I am super amped about this game. I just have this feeling that it's gonna be a very special day in Memphis on Saturday.
I hope so.
I had a chance today at the media press conference at the availability to talk to some media members that were not in Memphis in 2019 and share with them what college game day coming to Beale Street was like. The season feels like a 2019 type of season.
Already.
It just does. It just does. It feels like a destiny type of team that really, really amps me up for this Saturday, because this is just another chapter in the story that I think this season is going to end up being for the Tiger football program.
I hope you're right. I hope you were right. You're getting me fired the heck up.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with your hosts, Trey Lasley and TJ Willis, every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
We are 2 weeks away from NBA training camp. I want to know, what things you guys are intrigued about the most. Edward says he needs to see a Cedric Coward workout video. It's not that I think the Grizzlies are being weird about it. I just think that our level of anxiety for it is high. And whether you want to debate whether that's understandably high or just y'all just tripping high, that's for each man to determine. I don't think the Grizzlies are being weird about it at all. Like I think if I was watching something and it felt like they were intentionally showing him working out for whatever reason, I would think that's weird too, man. Like I haven't seen Brandon Clark pick up a ball in forever, but I'm kind of assuming he's going to be ready to play. Like I'm not pointing any grand conspiracy about hiding Brandon Clark. Like I don't particularly have to see Cedric Coward play basketball to think that he's fine or he'll be ready for camp. I haven't seen anybody do anything with a basketball since Summer League. The guys that played in Summer League, I saw them play. I ain't seen nobody do anything since then.
Tune in to the Anthony Sain Show Monday through Fridays at 1 p.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
I quit doing that, and then I was like, I need to sneeze this one time, so I did it just to be safe, and then I forgot. So welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the 2 Buck Sports Show. I'm Uncle Buck. Joined with me is Rusty, and I would like to tell everybody right now, if you're watching on X.com, to come on over to Bluff City Media's YouTube page, put in the search bar, find it. There'll be a little circle around the logo. That means we're live. Click on it. Give us a thumbs up. Get to the comments. All the cool kids are in the comments here. And I know we said we were going to do football real quick, and we're going to get to that. But real quick, ESPN has started their top 100. They listed 100 to 51 today. There was one Grizzly. Did you see this?
I didn't see who it is yet, no. I just saw the notification.
Okay. There's one Grizzly on the list. Do you care to take a quick stab at who it is?
50 to 100.
51 to 100, but yes.
Is it Jaren?
No. God, that'd be stupid.
I mean,
I fair.
Ty Jerome?
Nope.
KCP?
Nope.
Who?
That's strike 3. You're out.
Yeah.
Your boy, Edie. Inexplicably at 88.
How about that? Let's go Zach Edey.
Which means there must be a bunch of Grizzlies between 50 and 1.
Hey, Speedy Edey, man, when he wasn't speeding in his Kia, and B, when Taylor Jenkins was allowing him to play last year, he was putting in work. But anyway, excited to see him get healthy and get back. I'm curious where they're going to – I mean, it was a fair guess with Ja or Jaren there, given how goofy the ESPN coverage of the NBA can be.
Well, I was a little curious where they would drop Ja to, and I was going to make the case for and against ESPN here. They had Zion at 61. So, yeah, he doesn't belong in the same conversation as Zion, but former number 1 pick, same draft class, injury issues, the whole, all that. Mm-hmm. They dropped him all the way to 61. So
I'm sure Ja's probably going to be around like 49 or 50 then if that's the case, but we'll see.
He'll be behind Desmond Bain, hide and watch.
Probably. They're going to get the post-Grizzly glazing is wild. Dez will probably be top 15, and you'll have Jaren and Ja in the 40s, guaranteed.
No.
But we had some announcements this week. First and foremost, the ACC, we'll start there. The ACC is catching up with the times, and they announced that they are also going to a non-conference game schedule with one other Power 4 opponent. Drew, it just feels like, the SEC, heard all the noise and whatever you want to say, but they decided to go to the 9-game conference with a Power 4 non-conference opponent as well. The ACC is following suit. Curious when the Big 10 and the Big 12 are going to jump on board. I mean, I know the Big 10 already plays 9, but their out-of-conference schedule is whack. I mean, they've got a lot of, they play a lot of Little Sisters of the Poor in these local high schools and community colleges. But I'm not surprised. This is kind of the future. Everybody's posturing themselves to make their conference and their schedules more palatable for the College Football Playoff Committee to give them a better shot at getting in.
Absolutely. And listen, this has, of course, you hope that the College Football Playoff Committee will award or will rank and highly validate somebody who has a tough strength of schedule. It's kind of the reason why I talked about Notre Dame last week. 2 really close losses to top 10 teams or top 15 teams shouldn't be a demerit, even though it's in the first 3 weeks of the season. I hope that the College Football Playoff Committee does take into pretty strong consideration strength of schedule, because this is a move that as a fan you should be excited about. Listen, I've been a proponent of playing good teams forever because you owe it to your fans. Your fans pay a lot of money to either go to games and tailgate and drive and park and gas, food, the whole shooting match to go to games. But then the rest of us who don't go to games pay a lot of money to, subscribe to TV, to 100 different TV packages and to host our own cookouts. And, you just want to give as much return on investment as you can, and you just don't get any return on investment. Like Mississippi State, for instance, in the last 2 weeks have hosted Alcorn State and Northern Illinois. Like, why? Like, can we replace one of those with some team that's got a pulse? Ole Miss hosts the Citadel this year later in the season, and then they hosted Georgia State. Like, who cares? Who cares? Make those better games. And hopefully, in turn, the playoff committee respects a close loss when you schedule a harder schedule.
I don't know that that's going to change, given that the gauntlet that you already run through in a 9-game conference schedule. You've got one other Power 4. That's 10 games against possibly ranked. Of those 10 games, 8 of them are 7 to 8 of them are very likely to be ranked. So I don't know that the days of us playing those cupcake games are going anywhere to fill in those other 2 games, unfortunately.
Math says you're going to have at least one less.
Yeah.
But I do think it negatively impacts the SEC more than it negatively impacts anyone else, because I was just looking through the ACC standings, and we were talking with some coworkers about Florida State's upcoming schedule. They're undefeated with a big win against Alabama, and comparing that to Miami and their schedule and Clemson and their schedule, going down the list. Adding a 9th ACC game is not going to hurt your chances of a college football playoff in the slightest. That is as top-heavy as they come, and it falls off precipitously. In the SEC, the biggest detractor for the SEC is there may not be that one team, but everybody's a team that could.
I bookmarked this. I bookmarked this because it's a good time to talk about it. But in college football so far this year, records versus, this was yesterday, Brett McMurphy of On 3 Sports said, records versus non-conference Power 4 schools in Notre Dame. The SEC is 10-3 so far this year, a 76% win percentage. The Big 12 8-6, the Big 10 5-6, American 6-11. The ACC is 5-12, 29% winning percentage outside of the cupcake games against Power 4 and Notre Dame. The MAC 1-21 and Conference USA is 0-11 down at the bottom. But and apparently the Big 12 has also announced that they are going to this same schedule per Brett McMurphy. So in 2026, we're going to have the ACC, the SEC, and the Big 12 all playing 9-game conference schedules, and requiring one Power 4 non-conference game. The only conference that's not is the Big 10, and they've been the loudest mouthpieces and barkers about the SEC schedule. The SEC, ACC, and Big 12 have stepped up. But the Big 10 is still only playing their non-conference opponents, but not requiring a non-conference Power 4.
It'll follow suit. The Big 10 is not going to insulate themselves from the other leagues, because eventually these 4 leagues are going to branch off and do their own thing anyways. When ESPN says, I'm sick of the NCAA suspending players or trying to act like they have any control in this, how about us just fund it? Josh Pate will be the commissioner, and we'll just do our own thing and separate ourselves from the NCAA. That'll come, and it'll be the Power 4 schools that take part in it. So right now, they're all just going to line up. You'll see it all line up with the Big 10.
It's all going to fall. But the SEC did announce, in light of those non-conference game schedules coming up, the annual opponents for at least the next 4 years have been announced. They're going to revisit these every 4 years, probably restructure, move some teams around. Drew, some old rivalries are coming back. Some old rivalries are going away. For the first time since 1964, Alabama and LSU will not play each other every year, which we saw some of this when Alabama was taken away from Mississippi State, some of those rivalries as well. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Auburn. But we'll start with our schools. Mississippi State's annual opponents that we're going to play every year for the next 4 years are Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, and Alabama. So Vanderbilt is not a team historically we have played very much. And so what?
Jackson Dart starting? Is that something?
We got some breaking news. You look that up. I'll keep talking. Mississippi State doesn't traditionally play Vanderbilt a whole lot. Ole Miss obviously is going to be there as our bitterest rival. And then we're getting a rivalry back with Alabama. And it's not the Alabama of old that we lost 17 in a row to. Now, they're still pretty good. But I'm not as afraid of this as I was if Nick Saban was still there and beat us 17 games in a row. Is that true?
Yeah. Per Adam Schefter, the Giants are planning to start rookie Jackson Dart on Sunday versus the Chargers.
I mean, if you watch that goal line series with Russell Wilson, it ain't going to get no worse.
I watched a pretty good bit of that game because I thought that it may be a shot that Jackson Dart comes in, and that was the only NFL game on at the time. And they brought in Dart, and he had a couple of good runs. You know, they have a package for him with, kind of the two running backs off each shoulder and do the little option thing. And he had success. Listen, I'm equal parts excited for Jackson Dart and to be able to watch it. I'm all in on the Giants this year. The Saints suck. I love Jackson Dart. At the same time, seeing what Daniel Jones is doing in Indianapolis makes me think that Dayball may ruin him.
Like I said, there was a tweet on Sunday. It said, when Daniel Jones was in New York, he's going to get Brian Daboll fired. When Daniel Jones is in Indianapolis, he's going to get Brian Daboll fired.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, God bless Jackson Dart. Going to be running for his life behind that offensive line that is so abhorrent.
They did wait, which I heard that they were thinking about. They did wait till they got Andrew Thomas, their starting left tackle, healthy before they brought him in. So he can't be worse than Russell Wilson.
Again, go watch that goal line series where he threw 4 out of the back of the end zone when he had 2 guys.
Like Nick Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Great running quarterback, not so great with his arm. But again, Mississippi State gets Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, and Alabama as our annual opponents for the next 4 years. I don't hate it. Again, Arkansas is one of our rivals. Auburn, LSU could have been inserted in there. But we haven't played Vanderbilt in forever. And so now we're going to get a shot at them over the next 4 years.
Yeah. See, Mississippi State should be pretty thrilled with theirs. You knew you were going to get Ole Miss. You didn't know who you were going to do the other one. You got Alabama. There's probably never a better time to have Alabama. Not that they're going to be bad. The streak will probably continue for a little while. I mean, the floor of Alabama is still pretty dang high.
Yeah.
And then you're getting Vanderbilt, which historically is great, but they're really good now too. It's going to continue.
Will it continue after Diego Pavia? That's the question.
Yeah, that is the question. And you compare that. I hate Ole Misses. I knew that we were going to get Mississippi State. Obviously, I knew we were going to get LSU, our true rival. You knew those, and you were going to have to pick one of the 3. I wanted to bring back the Vanderbilt rivalry game. Ole Miss did play. They were their permanent SEC East opponent when they were divisions. You have the Chucky Mullins story that happens there. I kind of wanted Vanderbilt, but that sounds like I want an easy way out. It's true, but instead, there's other. I would have rather had Arkansas. I would have rather. I mean, historically, there's 3 or 4 teams I'd rather have, but we get the newcomer Oklahoma.
The upswing.
Yes. The Grizzlies will open training camp in Nashville this year. Breaking news. Once again, not really breaking. It happens every year, but
every year.
The 3 game. It seems hard. You take out your rivalry game. The easiest game right now is obviously going to be Mississippi State. But with that being a rivalry game, it's much more of a coin flip than anybody would ever like to see in an every single year format. Yeah. And so you couple that with Oklahoma, which is you got to travel to Norman every other year, and then LSU, which I like. I never want to get rid of that trophy game. It's fine, and I've tried to just not pay too much of attention to it because this is a 9-game schedule.
I was about to say,
this is only 3 of the games.
Yeah, 3 of the 9 games. Yeah.
So you will play half of the SEC, the rest of half of the SEC this year, and the rest of the other half next year. So it's not that big of a deal. It's only a third of the SEC schedule, and so I'll be all right. Like,
Yeah,
the only
I
one
mean,
I'm mad about is Tennessee. So
Yeah, Tennessee got an absolute cakewalk getting, and again, like they're bitter rivals, whatever, but it's a one-sided rivalry. You've got Alabama, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt. Arkansas got a hell of a draw with it being Missouri, Texas, and LSU. Like those are 3 10-win teams perennially.
Right.
Auburn getting Alabama and Georgia is tough. They got a bone thrown to them with Vanderbilt as their third opponent. Alabama has got big rivalries. Again, you get Auburn, you knew you were going to get that. You're probably going to get Tennessee, and then they gave them Mississippi State as their other one. Kentucky getting Florida, Tennessee, and South Carolina is not awful for Kentucky simply because Florida is very likely about to fire their head coach in Billy Napier. Tennessee is tough. That's a hard one. And then South Carolina is so volatile, they could fire Shane Beamer as well. And so you could have 2 easy opponents for Mark Stoops, who's going to win you 7 or 8 ball games every single year. Newcomer Oklahoma has Missouri, Ole Miss, and Texas. You knew that was going to be it. And then Texas with some old Southwest rivalries, Texas A&M, Arkansas, and Oklahoma as their 3 permanent opponents. Again, they're going to reevaluate these every 4 years. Right now on FanDuel, I feel like it's a good time to update the SEC championship odds.
Well, I'll say this before we go to that. I would like to know the criteria in which they do this because it seems like they're doing maybe like tiers. And it's the reason why they're very right now biased, So you look at Ole Miss, you got your upper tier LSU, you got your bottom tier Mississippi State, and then you got maybe the middle tier Oklahoma. Seems like they've done that with pretty much everybody. You look at Mississippi State, you got the lower tier Vandy, the upper tier Alabama, the middle tier Ole Miss, and that's why I'm glad they're doing it in 4 years because you get a home and away twice in your bracket. Whatever you call this pod, and then you switch them up, and then I hope they look at the rankings over the last 4 years, and then it becomes more you can kind of look and tell what it's going to be.
Yeah,
and
I hope that's what they're going to do.
And also, they're not going to cycle off Ole Miss and Mississippi State or Ole Miss and LSU, so you're only looking at that third team for Ole Miss.
I don't know. That LSU game might be one that gets flexed. If they're going to flex LSU and Alabama, one of these is not going to change for every year.
No,
I don't think they're going to pigeonhole 2.
I don't think either school would lobby to lose that game. I think they'd both fight very hard to keep that game. It is a trophy game.
It is.
And you've seen weird things. Like, we're not playing Bedlam anymore, but that's because they're in different conferences. I think that you're going to see
Arkansas and LSU is a trophy game for the boot, and they didn't play. They're not playing that one.
Fair.
So I mean, I think you're going to have one permanent. I think that's what this is going to end up being is one permanent. Your rival, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Tennessee,
Mississippi State, LSU. I mean, Ole Miss, LSU.
Y'all keep with that that's the ultimate little brother rivalry, but we'll leave that alone.
What, you'll get bigger?
Kentucky, Tennessee.
That's bigger, brother.
No, absolutely little. Ole Miss is the littlest brother with big brother syndrome I have ever seen in my entire life.
I guess that's why you've only got one rivalry game.
I mean, anyway, I'm gonna leave
Who?
this.
Arkansas?
I'm going to leave this alone. So right now on FanDuel, some updated odds for you for the SEC championship are Georgia at plus 280, Texas still hanging there at second, plus 300, Alabama plus 500, LSU plus 750. Oklahoma is all the way up from plus 2,200 to plus 1,000 on the streak that they're on currently. A&M plus 12, Ole Miss plus 1,300, Missouri moving up to plus 2,200 from plus 4,000, and then Tennessee at plus 2,700, still hanging back there. A little bit of an interesting take there with Tennessee, as hot as they've been lately. Yes, they lost to Georgia, keeping them back a little bit. Drew, outside of the obvious, you got Georgia, Texas, Alabama kind of at the top. You called LSU. Is there anybody else here that you would be willing to put a few dollars on to think that they could be one of the teams to win the SEC?
Oklahoma. I would say Oklahoma. I think if you're looking at Ole Miss and LSU, it's the winner of this game. I think would solidify themselves in that maybe second tier. You see LSU, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss being the next 4. The winner of that Ole Miss LSU game this week, I think you can put them up there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alabama should be there, if not higher than Texas. Just quarterback play right there.
For some long shot odds, I don't hate Missouri at plus 2,200. They're going to win 10 games this year. They have a favorable schedule. They can run the football better than they have in a long time, and Bo Pribula is only going to continue to get better. Plus 2,200 is not terrible odds for a long reach on an SEC outsider. Texas is going to go as Arch goes. Alabama, we'll see. But you can talk about Ole Miss making the Sweet 16. Jared, as an outside perspective, says Ole Miss owns football, and recently they have. Mississippi State owns everything else. We're talking truly like head-to-head, like, cool. They made the Sweet 16, but go look at head-to-head. Who wins in baseball? Who wins in basketball? That'd be your Mississippi State Bulldogs. But
there's really only one thing you can claim right now in this baseball. And we've got the same number of natties.
Yeah, but go look at head-to-head basketball. That's fine. Chris Beard got him a little bit further. Go look at head-to-head basketball recently. But there's your updated SEC odds for an SEC championship over on FanDuel.com.
So, that's where I stand with this. I do like Missouri a little bit. Tennessee's probably too low as well. We're still not yet to moving day in the SEC yet, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah. Speaking of moving day in the SEC, Drew, it is time for our weekly edition of the Bull and Bear Market. A reminder, a bull market is things that we are high on, that the investors are big on, that are willing to invest some dollars in and some money into, and think that it's on the upswing. And for Drew and I, here's our 4 bull markets of the week. I'll start. I'm going Jeff Lebby. Listen, we've already gone ahead of our win total from preseason win total on FanDuel, which was set at 3.5. 4 weeks into the season, 4-0. We've already hit the over if you took the over on Mississippi State, which Drew and I both encouraged you to do before the season started. Has us playing really good football, and I will give credit where credit's due. I was completely out on Coleman Huxler all last year, all preseason, leading up to this season, only for our defense to be a bright spot. We have one of the top secondaries in the SEC. We have the highest rated cornerback in the country in Kelly Jones, who shut down an All-American in Jordan Tyson from Arizona State, who's only just gone off since then. He has the lowest catch rate in the entire country out of any cornerback. And so I'm going to give credit where credit's due to Jeff Lebby. We're sticking by his guy. Now, again, I'm still not all the way in on Coleman Huxler like Jeff Lebby was, but this Saturday can go a long way in helping me swing that pendulum on Coleman Huxler. But what I appreciate about Jeff Lebby, he has a team full of guys who believe in him, who are bought into the system, who are playing really hard. We've had one really good win. We beat some inferior opponents in the other 3. The big litmus test is this Saturday. Like, if we go out and are competitive or upset Tennessee, which a lot of people are picking us to do, then I'm going to be even higher and even more insufferable than I was after Arizona State. But big props to Jeff Lebby for what he's already done through 4 games and turning around what was an abysmal program for 2 years under Zach Arnett in his first year. I'm bullish on Jeff Lebby and what he's done so far in Starkville, recognizing who the opponents are, knowing that we have a big litmus test coming up this Saturday.
Yeah. Listen, I think that best case, you can only be 4-0 at this point unless you have a bye week. And you're 4-0, you have a good win against Arizona State, and this is where kind of the rubber meets the road. You said it's a moving week. Saturday. You've got you've got Tennessee coming down to Starkville. You will see what a lot of these teams are made of this week, rather. My first bull market. Welcome to rivalry week. You got the real rivals playing each other, Alabama and Georgia, Ole Miss and LSU, Kentucky and South Carolina, just the way it should be.
Mm-hmm. You can claim that all you want. Doesn't make it
welcome
true.
back. We're playing for a trophy. I don't care that it's October or September. What month is it? I don't know. Don't care that it's September. I think Ole Miss should move the Egg Bowl to September and play LSU the last game of the year. I've said this, and it's not because I hate you. It's because the game is stupid when it's being played the last game of the year. One team has everything to play for. The other team just plays for broken knees. And I don't like it. It's not right. There's too little on the table for one of the parties every single time the Egg Bowl is played on Thanksgiving. So I would say that we'll just flip this.
So there's if you have to constantly remind people that you're a good football player or you're a good football team or this is our true rival, then you're punching up, you're reaching, and you're trying to convince yourself, everybody else, and it doesn't work. It doesn't
because the teams that win 10, the team that has consistently won 10 games at the same time shouldn't be
3,
considered
4
peers
years.
more than the team that is up here and the team that's down here?
For 3 or 4 years, recency bias there for sure. I mean, it's a good run that Ole Miss done. I'm not arguing that, but you can, again, when one side of the rivalry could cause the other, one side doesn't even think about you. The other side is, this is our true rivalry.
Okay,
like we're reaching out for it.
That's insane.
I mean, I guess
That's
they do
insane.
think about you when their linebacker is letting his girlfriend.
Oh, we're getting to that.
Official of rivalry week.
We're getting that.
Amazing.
Again, rivalry week.
The week of the game.
What is LSU doing to get in our heads right now? I'll tell you later. Something Mississippi State would never dream of.
Well, again, we're just too focused on football versus going to fishing with our girlfriends on social media, I guess. But I'm also bullish on the SEC for reasons I laid out earlier. So far in non-conference play, the SEC is winning at 76%. Obviously, big 3 losses. You had Florida losing to Miami, Alabama losing to Florida State, and then Texas losing to Ohio State, right? You've lost 3 programs, lost to 3 premier programs in another conference. The SEC is going to cannibalize itself. I mean, I'm bullish on the SEC, not because I think there's going to be 4 SEC teams in the college football playoff. We might be lucky to get 2 because of what the conference is going to do. I think we're set up for an incredible run to the end of the season with some great football. Again, big games this weekend, and it only gets better as the season goes on. I'm bullish on the SEC as we continue to be the best conference in football, and I think we've set up for a generational type season so far when you've got teams like Missouri, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State already punching above their weight class and exceeding expectations. I think we're set up for a kooky SEC season. I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, I'm with you there. The SEC has done really good in the non-conference, which is what you asked for. Yeah, all the other pundits that lean the other conferences' direction, particularly the Big Ten and the, Danny Cannell, his stumping for the ACC. They always point to the SEC teams losing games to the ACC or whatever. You don't have that there. And when the ones you do have, like, who in their right mind can sit there and just be like, oh, the Big Ten is better than the SEC because Ohio State beat Texas. Like, they're going to be top 5 teams, both of them. You play that game. We'll figure it out,
You play that game home and home 10 times, and it's going to be 5-5, very likely.
So, my last bull market is a quarterback controversy is ramping up in Oxford, Mississippi. Austin Simmons, and this is I talked about it yesterday, so we'd kind of dive into it a little bit more today. I'll try to be brief. Quarterback controversy in Oxford, Mississippi. Austin Simmons goes down with an ankle injury in week number 2 against it was Kentucky. He plays very little, only 3 plays when standout transfer. Trinidad Chambliss comes in and plays against Arkansas, plays extremely well. And Austin Simmons kind of re-aggravates his ankle injury. And then Trinidad Chambliss plays exclusively the quarterback position on the last game, Saturday, against Tulane, and was really good again. And a lot of Ole Miss fans are ready to say, Austin Simmons, get out of the way. Trinidad Chambliss, this is your program. I think after the Tulane game, I was ready to have a conversation about it. However, this is where I have landed. And the reason why this is on the bull market is because this is not going to be the last time this is talked about. This is going to be an inflection point of the season for Ole Miss. I think that if Austin Simmons is 100% healthy, you play Austin Simmons. And it's just as simple as that. I know there's a lot of people that's clamoring for Trinidad Chambliss. He is a senior. He has no eligibility left. He is really good. He's dynamic. He's a good runner. But this is a new day and age in which we are talking about players in college football. If you do not play Austin Simmons, he is gone. He is your future. He is your next year, and he could be your next year starter at Ole Miss. If you bench him, then he is gone. Austin Simmons, after one drive against Georgia last year, in which he led the offense down cold, the last ball he had thrown was a baseball. He led the Ole Miss football team down and scored a touchdown against Georgia. And that drive alone got him 7-figure offers from other SEC schools that he entertained and chose to stay at Ole Miss with a raise, assuming a 7-figure salary here. Mm-hmm. You will lose that guy if you bench him. Am I in favor of playing an inferior quarterback? Absolutely not. You do not sacrifice winning potential for next year. However, we have all gotten ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater with Austin Simmons. Austin Simmons is a good quarterback. He has the potential to be an incredible quarterback. But just like I've said with Arch Manning and DJ Lagway and name your young quarterback, you've got to be able to get
Lenore Sellers.
No, I was out on Lenore Sellers.
You said name a quarterback.
I said name your young quarterback. Lenore Sellers, fine, put him in the list. Although I'm kind of putting him as a more known commodity than the rest of them. I'm kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt.
That's funny. You do that for Lenore Sellers, but you won't do it for you do it for DJ Lagway, but you won't for Lenore Sellers.
I'm putting Lenore Sellers above DJ Lagway.
Okay.
Can I finish my thought?
Oh, sorry.
Jeez. So you've got to be able to roll with the punches. Let him mess up. Did Trinidad Chambliss look really good against Arkansas and Tulane? Yes. There is like a 90% chance that Austin Simmons would have looked amazing against Arkansas and Tulane if he were healthy. So I think I'm in the camp right now. Now, you have to give me 100% health. 80% health against LSU with Austin Simmons, you play Trinidad Chambliss. You just go for the win. But given health, this has got to be Austin Simmons' team. It just has to be. You've got to roll with him because he is talented. He is accurate. He is taking lumps. And the biggest shame of his injury earlier in the season is that he didn't get enough. He's had 2 bad picks and 2 picks in which he got hit and fluttered a ball. It's not as bad as everybody wants to talk about. Quarterbacks are lightning rods. You know, we have overreacted about quarterbacks incessantly. And it happened with Austin Simmons, and there's a lot of people that want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm not that guy.
We'll find out this weekend what's going to happen. He's not on the injury report, but also we know Lane's not always truthful with the injury report.
Hey, it's not an injury report.
Mm-hmm.
It is an availability report. Okay,
but Ole Miss loves y'all love to move the goalposts on everything, including the injury report.
He was out. He didn't play. He was available and he did play. I don't understand what the confusion is.
Anyway, that's our bull
what's
market.
the confusion? No, I'm confused. No, tell me what's the confusion.
The whole week, Austin Simmons clearly got hurt with 2 lower extremity injuries. Was not reported throughout the week, and then
he was questionable the whole week.
There was never an official.
Look it back.
Never an
yes,
official
there was.
release.
First off, college football does not require you to release an injury report, but when they did release the obligatory injury report, he was on it, and he did play. So. I don't know. I really understand the problem.
Again, it's not a problem when your coach does it. It's a problem when everybody else does it.
Show me the problem. You can't provide a problem that I didn't give you an answer to.
Absolutely. Like throughout the whole week, it was crickets when there was you're supposed to be talking.
It's not required. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You want him to fess up to things that may or may not happen on Tuesday? Then you're the one with bad intentions.
No, I don't agree with that at all. It wasn't on Tuesday.
Of course
We're talking about Thursday late in the week. But anyway, one last thing I do want to say: there are 8 teams that are 4-0 and 4-0 against the spread. They're Memphis. Shout out to the Tigers. BYU, Arizona, Houston, Florida State, Vanderbilt, the Fighting Diego Pavias, Texas Tech, who took it to Utah, and another mark for Jeff Lebby. The Mississippi State Bulldogs. That will be tested this weekend when Tennessee comes to town. But what goes up must come down. Those are our bull markets of the week, our bear market of the week. Drew, I'm going to let you go first. Mr. Rich Rodriguez makes the top of your bear market list. Why is that?
Bear market typically means you're expecting them to be up here and they're falling down. To me, Rich Rodriguez has always been down here. At one point, he thought that John Rice Plumlee was a better quarterback than Matt Corral. That ushered his way out of Starkville, and he went back to West Virginia, and it has gone poorly. They're 2-2. They've lost to Ohio, and then they lost a rock fight they got blown out by Kansas last week. So any thought that West Virginia fans had to bringing back the Steve Slayton and Pat White era is totally dashed. Rich Rodriguez is not it. You should quit betting on him. You should quit thinking that he's anything other than a good coach from 15 years ago.
And that's it. One that Alabama was really willing to bet the farm on, only for him to leave them at the altar at the end.
Yeah.
Bear market for me is officiating. It was a terrible, terrible weekend for officiating across several games. SEC crews were abominable in many games. Calling a play dead in the Florida game. The hideout rule for the Oklahoma-Auburn game. And there's still just no accountability. Credit Josh Pate for bringing this up, but it's absolutely right. There is no accountability for a coach or a player. If they say something, you're going to get fined, you're going to get suspended, you're going to get in trouble. There is no accountability for officiating, and it continues to get worse. I don't know what the solution is other than there's got to be some type of retribution or type of accountability for officials other than just a cool, hey, we messed up, statement from the SEC after the game. Officiating has just continuously, it's gotten bad. And I appreciate that that's the human aspect of the sport is we have humans making those decisions. They're going to make mistakes. But how do you stop mistakes? Negative reinforcement. That's one of the ways you can do that. Positive reinforcement works, I guess. But there's got to be some accountability, and there's got to be some things that happen when these officials blow calls like they did in multiple games across one of the most lucrative sports in all of the country. We continue to just have this debate of how bad officials are, and nothing is done about it. I'm completely bearish on officiating and the direction that it's heading.
You should make them full-time employees, and then they should be required to answer for any missed calls. There should be a post-game press conference in which they can go back and have a few minutes to review the tape, the hot button issues, and they should have a press conference. There should be accountability that can't be had if they're part-time employees.
Exactly. And there's minimal training, there's minimal accountability, there's minimal effort. You got a bunch of guys that are probably State Farm, Progressive insurance agents throughout the week. And then on Saturdays, they go call games for millions of dollars from a salary, from betting, from players. All these dollars are millions of dollars are at stake. And they go have a colossal screw up and it's we messed up. See you next week.
Yeah. It's because you can't do anything. You can't do anything with them if they're part-time employees. And honestly, you want to negative reinforce? I don't know what you can do. There's obviously a shortage. There's not enough good officials, and I don't know why anybody would want to be an official in social media at times where you can get doxxed on Twitter with your name and address if you blow a call for Auburn. You know how toxic those people are. They'll come roll your yard. And so there's not a good way to do it. But if you start by making it a legit profession in which you pay them an enormous amount of money for 3 or 4 months a year, and then be able to, because they are full-time employees, you can actually have punishments that can really hurt, and training. In the off season, you pay their salaries and they're just training. They need to be in shape, for one. A lot of these dudes are 90 years old. It's the requirements for being a referee is the same as being the president. You have to be 75 years old. It's ridiculous. Why can we not take some flamed out quarterback 4 that was never going to play and be hey, instead of finishing your college career, why don't I pay you $100,000 a year to call football games? Yeah. And in the off season, you just train. You go and you do simulated games, you do spring games, you do practices, whatever, just to get reps. It's not that hard.
And it's not just a one league issue. It's across the NCAA, and then you got guys that are looking for things in the SEC, and then you got they go call ACC games they're coached up to look at something different by their head of officials for each conference. There's just no continuity. There's no standardization, and until they're full-time employees, we're never going to get that.
Right. My last one, I'll make it quick. The NCAA did get rid of the spring transfer portal window. I think that is incredible. I think that the transfer portal is a bigger harm to the sport than NIL because the marriage of the two allows players to shop way too often. I think you should be able to shop, but you've got to be able to have some sort of continuity. You cannot go through spring practice with one team, jump out once you realize you're number 2 on the depth chart and go to somewhere else. It totally tanks any coach and any university's ability of growth and development. You've got to be able to do it. If you want to get out after the football season didn't go your way, you don't see a path forward, get out. But to go through spring ball and then to jump out, it's silly business. I don't
Mike
want any part of that.
Gundy has been fired by Oklahoma State. Breaking news from the
Wow.
NCAA. The mullet is gone. It is official. Oklahoma State has fired him. I mean, it's been an awful start to the season. You get boat raced by Oregon. You lose to Tulsa. Like, Oklahoma State has been struggling for several years now. This has not been like all of a sudden like they're like bottom of the barrel. 4 years ago or so, they were very competitive. But over the last 3 years, there's been a steady decline in Oklahoma State.
So 2 years ago, they got stuffed at the 1 yard line that would have taken, if they scored, they make it to the Big 12 championship.
Was that 2 years ago? I felt
it
like
was 2023.
2 years ago.
But let's draw some parallels here, real quick. This show's going to go just a touch longer than typical, but let's draw some parallels. So first off, this is kind of stunning. He's been there for 20 years. I mean, you can tell. How many?
He's 20 is what I'm looking at right now.
Okay. I thought you were telling me for sure. You don't have to look it up. He's been there for, say, 20 years. You feel like you've get the benefit of the
20
doubt.
years since 2005.
So you feel like you get the rest of the season. Now, when Mike Gundy walked off the field after that home loss to Tulsa, the way he was waving to the crowd, he kind of soaked it up, and I felt like I was probably reading too much into it. It felt like he knew that it could be coming, so it may not be surprising, but let me draw some parallels here. They did not take part in the transfer portal the way that a lot of teams, successful teams, are doing right now. They had a flash-in-the-pan year in 2023 in which it all worked out with the players that they had stored up and got however, made a run at a Big 12 title game, and then have crashed and fallen.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else that's doing that is Dabo Swinney, which is going to lead directly into your next point. He has not done the transfer portal. He has decided he's going to home grow this thing. He had a really good year last year where he won the ACC. And this year, when all these guys who were supposed to win the ACC were supposed to be juniors and seniors and have everything, it's just not good.
So let me make my point. So then he goes on and he has these epic meltdowns in post-game press conferences where he says, why are we held to a different standard? These are our guys. We might tank and go 6-6 this year, and throws this huge diatribe out there where everybody's supposed to feel sorry for him when we're not going to feel sorry for you betting on yourself, which I'm, by all means, go right ahead. But then you've got a quarterback in Cade Klubnik who has not taken the next step and developed. You paired him up with an OC and they're supposed to develop together. That hasn't happened. Your guys haven't hit. You brought back all this experience on the offensive defensive line, and it's just not going to work. And then you can't go out there and say, oh, well, you got to feel bad for me because we're held to a different standard. No, you hold your team to a different standard. You've created a different standard. That's what Dabo has done at Clemson. Mike Gundy had done essentially the same at Oklahoma State because they were a perennial competitor. They weren't winning the Big 12, but they were perennially competitive in the Big 12.
There were years.
8 to 10 wins. I mean, again, there were years they could have. You have to forgive me if I don't know offhand how many Big 12 championships they won because I don't think it's any, but I think they competed for him for a lot of the years that he was there. But these last few years, exactly right. They're not attacking the transfer portal. College football is passing by a lot of these coaches who aren't willing to change. Mike Gundy being one of them, and he's out after an embarrassing home loss to the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes before they play Baylor this weekend at home. This is kind of stunning. Like you said, you think 20 years would at least buy you through the end of the year. But when you're getting embarrassed at home by Tulsa, you get embarrassed on the road at Eugene, Oregon after a 3-9 season last year when you just weren't competitive at all. You win your first 3 games against South Dakota State, Arkansas, and Tulsa. Then you lose 9 in a row, you give up 22 to Utah and then 42, 38, 38, 38. You get blown out by 52-0 by Colorado at home on the last game of the year. And then you come into this year and you start off like this. You get 1 win against UT Martin. No offense, Jared. Then you get blown out by Oregon and lose at home to Tulsa off of a bye week. The writing was on the wall.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He won 1 Big 12 South title in which he lost. He did not make the championship game because of a tie with Oklahoma. And he won 1 Big 12 conference championship in 2011, so 14 years ago.
So 1, yeah.
It was probably
so
Brandon Whedon's year. So,
yeah. Mike Gundy's out. Changing of the guard. There's going to be a lot of rumblings and rumors of who's going to get that. Could that be I know what's the guy Summerall at Tulane? I know he's waiting on an SEC job.
No.
I don't know that he'll go to that one. I think he'll be like, especially with likely having Florida, maybe Arkansas coming open next season. I think he waits on one of those games. I don't know that this is kind of that premier job that it once was, because Oklahoma State has some deep pockets. They've had some deep pockets in the past, but I'm curious to see who they will take to replace Mike Gundy.
Given the money that Oklahoma State has, there is no reason why they cannot do what Texas Tech is doing right now. That conference is too weak since Texas and Oklahoma left. There is no reason, and except for just the lack of desire to want to take part in NIL, which is what Gundy did. He went out on his own terms, I guess. But T. Boone Pickens was one of the richest dudes in football. That's who his stadium is named after. He is dead and gone now, but that money is still tied to that Oklahoma State program. They can go get players if they want to. They just got to want to. And so they'll go get somebody who wants to.
That's it. And have a blank checkbook to do it. This weekend, the line has already moved on FanDuel.com. It was 18.5. It literally just moved. Baylor is now a 21.5 point road favorite at Oklahoma State. That's wild to be a 3-touchdown favorite in a conference games in their stadium. Minus 1,600 for Baylor to win on the money line. Over under set at 58.5. I'm Baylor in the over feels like it's in play.
It wouldn't have surprised me if the line went Oklahoma State side a little bit, with it being that big of a spread. A lot of times you see coaches get fired and teams rally. That's why kind of hope they fire Napier here pretty soon. So you see teams rally and just to get a new voice, and with it being you said 16.5?
18.5.
18.5. It wouldn't have surprised me at all if it went real quick to like 15.5.
This is one we'll monitor throughout the rest of the week as we progress through the week, getting closer to Saturday, to see if it drops less. But right now you can get Baylor at minus 21.5 at Oklahoma State. That's a wild line for a home conference game, but it's the end of an era in Stillwater, Drew. One that we shouldn't be surprised. But it just, almost 18 years to the day, ago to the day, we got the epic "I'm a man, I'm 40" rant, and it just feels like yesterday. And now Mike Gundy is out at Oklahoma
R.I.P.
State. Yeah,
R.I.P. Mike.
That's it. Before
you'll see him on Fox News within the hour.
Job somewhere. Reminder, this Saturday is our next college football Saturday show at Grind City Brewing. We're going to have Notre Dame at Arkansas at 11 a.m. At 3:15, we're going to have Tennessee and Mississippi State, and at 6:30, Alabama and Georgia on the big screen. They're running a special $5 beers for everybody who shows up in Mississippi State or Tennessee gear for that middle game and our show. You get $5 beers if you're in Tennessee or Mississippi State gear. LSU and Ole Miss is going to be on one of the side TVs. There's going to be plenty of room for you to come hang out. I'm going to be there. Drew is iffy, maybe be there. Jared Davidson is going to step in. Super excited to get Jared on the mic to come hang out with me this Saturday. I'm sure we'll have Zach up there with us as well. Come hang with us this Saturday at Grind City Brewing. Game started at 11. Show goes live at 5:30 p.m. again. Come hang out with us and have some of the best brews with the best views in all of Memphis.
Yep, that'll be a fun event. Everybody come and hang out with us. So I reckon that'll do it for today's show.
I'm going to do it. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us, being in the comments. We're an hour and 4 minutes in. If you're still here, A, Y, B, thank you. Go ahead and hit like while you're here if you're hanging out with us. Appreciate y'all being here. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central right here on Bluff City Media's YouTube page. In the meantime, go be a friend to somebody who needs a friend. And Drew, tell them why there are no refunds.
That's right, because with the $2, you always get what you pay for. Have a good day, everybody. We'll see you back tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the $2 Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.